Hello, my dear Aries. I hope you're doing well. You have Venusian vibes here to give you your September love and spirituality reading. So I've already shuffled the deck for you guys, and so now I'm just going to cut the deck and take a look at some of your past energies that are relevant to your September. And then I will do your September spread. So let's get started. Okay. So it looks like we have some pretty strong energy going on for you right now in August. We have the Wheel of Fortune in the reverse, the Knight of Swords, the Page of Swords. Okay. So it looks like in the past there was some withholding of love with another person. Both of you guys, I'm almost getting the sense that you both were kind of harsh with each other, and you came at each other with a very practical, in a very practical sense. It was a lot of, there seems to be something about the truth here. You're truth seeking. You didn't trust the other person. And so when you fought, there was a lot of holding back of feelings and a lot of trying to correct the other person, tell them that they're wrong. A lot of like the thinking mind was happening between you two. And it looks like now there seems to be a standstill. And I'm not sure, I'm not going to say quite what this Wheel of Fortune in the reverse means yet. Because it's very strange energies I'm getting here. So I'm going to put these to the side, and I know you won't be able to see them over here, but I think that they will help me to reference as I go into your September reading, okay? And I'll get a better sense for what that standstill is right here with the Wheel of Fortune. Underlining energies, justice. This doesn't really surprise me because, you could be dealing with a Virgo or an earth sign, Taurus, Capricorn. A lot of pain here, some heartbreak here for you guys, or one of you guys. And the Justice card being here is very much like the Swords energy I saw with the King, or the Knight and the Page of Swords, which is very logic and trying to sort of defeat the other person with your logic and how right you are, and them also seeming to be doing the same thing to you. Okay, so now you have the Queen of Swords in the reverse, and this is your energy, Aries. So there's definitely a theme here going on with Swords energy. You feel you're very upset with someone in September. You're ready to just completely cut them out of your life. You're ready for them to, at any minute they try to say something to you or reach out to you, you're just going to cut them down. So your boundaries are up. They are very strong, and it looks like you're actually, with this Justice card, you're very set in your sense of what you need to do in order to feel your own dignity and to feel like you are, I don't want to say revenge yet. I don't quite have the cards that are indicating strong revenge, but I'm starting to feel that there's a lot of anger, and I can definitely see that, get a sense of a touch of that energy of really just being so upset you want revenge on this person who has hurt you. Okay, let's see here. Okay, so you have the Four of Wands in reverse. I think that you thought something was going to turn out a certain way in a love connection, and then it didn't. I think that some of you even were maybe engaged. Some of you guys have been engaged recently in the last year, and it completely fell through. That's just for a select few of you guys. But ultimately, the energy here is a lot of frustration and hurt surrounding a connection that wasn't fulfilled the way you had expected. Someone really let you down. Okay, so the Wheel of Fortune over here. I think you wanted to take the next step with this person, start a new phase in a higher commitment with this person. And they had been giving you an indication that that's what they wanted to. And it felt like that's where things might be going. And then suddenly they didn't anymore. And you feel very betrayed. Okay, let's see what else we have here. Another 4. So we have the Queen of Wands, we do have the Queen of Wands over here in the past energies, but we're the Queen of Swords here, and it's flanked on both sides by a 4. 4 of Wands, 4 of Swords, both in the reverse. Okay. So you're definitely taking a time out, or the other person, the person that you're dealing with is taking a time out. This is exactly, I'm almost getting a sense that since we also have a 4 in your past, and it's next to the Ace of Cups in the reverse, someone's definitely withholding love, and they're withholding giving you any kind of affection, any piece of them, so to speak. And it looks like that's still going on here. So you're definitely not hearing from this person. They're taking a time out, but since it's in the reverse, this indicates that they might have been in this energy, but then in September they start to kind of come out of it a little bit and dip a toe back into their life, and it's sort of like a retreat that they've made, and then they're ready to kind of step out of that retreat in September. But I'm just getting this very strong sense that almost you felt like there was a foundation and something solid going on in your connection, and then the rug was ripped out from under you, and suddenly it wasn't anymore. So it's kind of a strange energy. It feels very unstable, and there's a lot of disappointment. Okay, let me keep going here. So we have the Sun card. So this is very positive. This is good. I'm actually a little bit surprised to see this, to be honest, given the Queen of Swords situation. But I think you start to see how the positive side of what's happened. So I think that there is a sense of freedom that you start to feel. And now having this person seeming to be out of your life almost. And you're starting to think that maybe this was a better outcome for you. That this connection is actually not really, that you're kind of letting go of this connection. It could also have been you, Aries, that needed to take a lot of time out and to retreat and to not really connect with either the world around you in general or connect with a specific person. Okay. Yeah, so definitely you're starting to feel more positive about what has happened. So that's a really good thing. Okay, let me see what's under this Queen of Swords. So we have the Seven of Cups in the reverse. Okay. Okay, so I need to get this message out the correct way. So I'm just thinking how to how to phrase this, but I'm actually going to get a card really quick from the Sacred Destiny Oracle, because I don't know, it looks like there's a choice that you had to make, or you're going to be making in September, and you're unable to make it. But it could also be that you're stepping out of that energy of confusion and ambiguity. So it could be that things start to feel much more clear to you in September. You gain clarity on things. So I'm going to get a card for this. 7 of Cups. Power. Community. I'm going to get one more. Sun card. I'm going to get one for the Sun card. Illumination. Oh, and fulfillment. Okay, so I'm glad I got those for the Sun. Illumination is exactly what the Sun represents. Fulfillment is here as well. So I think that I kind of was talking about this already, but you get a sense of clarity, and suddenly you're starting to see something in a much more positive light, and you're actually starting to feel more fulfilled by this what looked like or felt like very painful situation in the past. You're now starting to feel more content about what's happened, and you're thinking that maybe it was actually a good thing that this has happened. So I'm glad to see that there is fulfillment and illumination here. So what's going on with this power and community? It looks like I think what's going on here is you guys have been taking a huge step back. And this could be your energy. I'm feeling how it is your energy. Of course, for some of you, this can be the other person's energy too, and it could be both of you guys. So you're both mirroring each other, and you're both very disconnected from the world and basically retreating into your own space and your own minds, basically. But the way it's your energy is that so you felt a need to do this. You had to rest and restore. You felt weak. Something had happened that made you feel weak. It looks like a conversation specifically might have happened about how someone was withholding their love, withholding their attention and their affection, not being passionate anymore, not being present anymore. And there was a conversation about it, and a lot of words were said. The approach wasn't done well for either side. And it sort of broke something that you thought was stable. But then we had this retreat you felt you had to make because you felt so weakened by all this. You felt like you couldn't be in the world even. Because you weren't in a positive place. And it almost seems like the way you were interacting with everyone around you was a bit harsh and direct, and you might have gone to the point where your boundaries were up so high that anytime someone asked you how you were doing or something like that, you would just shut down. So is that kind of, it seems like you were just very out of alignment with yourself for a minute. And so you really had to take a step back and retreat and restore your energy and just do some work on yourself for a minute. And now you're coming back out, and before, the way you were acting might have been cutting people out of your life and being very hardcore with your boundaries. And now you've come to the realization that your power is in your community, and you will feel so much more enlightenment and fulfillment, like we have here, if you are less guarded and just be yourself and embrace kind of the people in the world around you. Yeah. You definitely need your allies in September. You're going to derive a lot of power from having allies in your life and people you're highly connected to and who are really going to be there for you. So identify who those people are and or try to make those connections happen so that you have a strong foundation with connections to the people in your life. That's going to be really beneficial for you guys. And I think it looks like you are doing that. And that's where the sun, the illumination, the fulfillment, all these beautiful energies are coming in for you. Okay, let's see here. Oh, the Empress. Okay, so that is beautiful energy. I think that this is sort of a blossoming phase in September where, like I said, you're retreating. You are figuring out what's gone wrong for you. Why are you so much out of alignment? How did this connection affect you to the point that it did? And you're realizing that there's a need for you to sit in more of a receptive place, be more receptive to the people around you and a little bit less harsh and cutting them down, cutting them out. That just sense of harshness that I'm getting from this energy. You're just so clouded and confused. I just think that somehow confusion and you were feeling, and it was making you feel unsure of yourself. And because you were so unsure, and maybe it's someone else, this person who made you feel very unsure of yourself and brought out of a lot of insecurities. And so you started to separate yourself from people by being just kind of harsh and, like I said, boundaries up. And then I think after this time that you're going to be spending alone and in regrouping, you're going to come out of it within this Empress energy, which is much more receptive to the people around you, more allowing, and also more trusting that you will actually receive you'll receive the great things that you deserve to receive from people. So you kind of are just more trusting in the people around you, which also means you're trusting yourself more, which is great. So I really do love that you have this Empress energy here. So it looks like whatever you are going to be doing in September to recover and replenish yourself, it looks like it's really going to work for you guys. So that's great. So I'm going to pull an advice card for you and also a conclusion card to get a sense for how September is going to be ending for you. Advice for my dear Aries, please. I feel like it's that one, but let's keep going here. September. Okay. So it was actually ordinariness. But I think I actually need to just show you these for a minute. We are the world in the reverse, aloneness in the reverse. So it looks like you're getting to the tipping point of feeling like all of the isolation. You feel compelled to kind of isolate yourself in order to get back into to find your true center in a way that you feel like you've kind of lost. But your disconnection is starting to feel like too much. And you feel isolated, but in the end, even though it might be a grueling process and it might be very hard for you, it with the aloneness and then the Ten of Pentacles in the reverse. So this indicates that the self-work is very taxing and makes you feel very alone. And Aries tends to want to connect to people and have a lot of people in their life. They're fiery, you want to be in the world, so it's not easy for an Aries to take that time out a lot of the time. But in the end, once again, we see here this flowering, this energy is reminiscent of, it's not the Empress card, it's the Queen of Pentacles, but it is reminiscent of this Empress energy. And I believe you have Queen of Pentacles here as well, underneath the Justice. So your Justice is basically becoming that secure, stable person for yourself and feeling rooted into the world and being receptive and loving to the people around you. That's kind of your Justice for whatever reason. And then Divine counterpart right here with understanding. So I think you also, it's important to try to gain an understanding of the person who was not in the correct energy in order to make you happy, and whatever happened between you two, and whatever resentment you have towards them. They've made you feel, for a lot of you, they've made you, they were withholding and they disappointed you and they made you feel alone. And so now you are alone, but now it's more because it's time to do some work and some self-work. But they might have triggered that sensation of loneliness by the way they acted. So it's time to understand that it's not real. You're not really isolated. You can leave this state of isolation at any time, and you can connect to the world in whatever way you feel comfortable with, given the world we live in right now. But any illusion that you're having of forced confinement, just remember that there are ways to connect to people still. And when you really are ready to come back into the world, you actually will be in a really great place. And you're going to know that too. You're going to feel it with the sun. You're going to feel the sense of enlightenment from the process. Okay. So ordinariness, though, is the one that I felt was the most relevant to you. It's just a simple message here. As you're in the state of self-reflection and you're just hanging out with yourself, remember to stay connected to nature and go on some walks or whatever exercise you want to do in nature is going to be extremely rewarding for your energies. It's really going to help ground you. So that is your advice. It is just connect to nature during this time. The Queen of Wands, she's not connected to nature, or sorry, not the Wands. The Queen of Swords, which we have here, and she feels unclear about things. So the sensation of ambiguity, feeling unclear, and that's also why she's in reverse here, because the Queen of Swords, when she's upright, is very clear and very certain, but in the reverse, she's not. She's clouded and plagued by uncertainties. So it's a very ungroundedness. So focusing on being more grounded, and by doing that, by earthing, taking your shoes and socks off and just kind of having your feet on solid earth, and also hiking or water sports, whatever your fancy is, really, just as long as it's in nature, is going to be extremely vital for your energy right now in September. So I'm going to get a conclusion card. Okay, so this one. Isolation. Okay, so this is exactly what we've been talking about this entire time. We've been talking about isolation, and so I don't really need to say much more. I'm sure I've said more than enough about your experiences with isolation in September. So it looks like, since this is the outcome, you're still in September. You might not be at that lovely power, community, fulfillment phase quite yet, but it's just I'm glad those cards came out, though, because they're there to remind you that is going to be in your future when it's time. This isn't beautiful energy here in terms of how positivity. This is someone who's feeling very alone, and it's not good. So I don't want you to really get to that point where it's this painful. However, for some reason, it seems like some sort of some sort of realization is going to come out of it. Something important and vital to your growth is going to come out of it. So if it does get to this point, I'm very sorry for the suffering, but I do hope that it does end up being rewarding. And if it ever gets to be, if it's too much, then definitely start reaching out to anyone and let the guard down a little bit and try to get a little bit of comfort out of some other people or someone in your life. If it gets like kind of too much, but yeah, it seems like for most of you, I think that there's going to be some discomfort in this stage of your life where you're going into that self-reflection mode, but you're going into it feeling very confused, very ungrounded, and very disappointed and untrusting of others. But I think that you're coming out of it feeling fulfilled, feeling like you have clarity, understanding, and having a realization, probably just a realization of how important it is to make these strong connections and to not have such high boundaries that you're literally forcing out any meaningful connection because you're so afraid that you can't trust the people around you. Okay, so I hope this resonated with you. It's not going to resonate with every Aries in the world, but I hope if it did resonate with you and you feel like you connected to it a lot, I would love to hear your comments. This is a new channel for me, and I'm getting used to kind of doing video readings right now, and I'm really enjoying it and enjoying getting these messages out to you all. So I'm going to just keep going. I'm going to do a pick a card reading soon. And so I really wish the best for you, Aries. I really hope that everything works out well and that you do get this beautiful, positive sun illumination energy and fulfillment at the end of all of this. So I truly wish the best for you guys. Okay? All right. Bye.